This is Ian Williams from VNUnet. I'm here with Nora Naniakara, Director of Business Development at the domain management marketplace Sedo. Nora, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Ian.
Can you tell us a little bit about Sedo and what they do and kind of where they play in the market?
Sure. We set up in 2001 in Germany, so we're one of the oldest domain service management companies. And from then we built up an office in the US in Boston in 2005 and just recently launched our London office here in the UK. We're the world's largest domain name marketplace, so we're a bit like the eBay for domain names. So we have 700,000 clients who come in, log into their accounts and check out our marketplace for domain names to buy and to sell them.
Right, okay. And obviously, I mean, domains are making some pretty big, some pretty big waves in the news fairly recently. Some have just been selling for insane amounts of money.
Sure, there is a lot of money to be made, definitely, particularly for those who got in at a very early stage in the market's development. They were lucky enough to acquire portfolios of really good, generic, descriptive domain names and held on to them as an investment and parked them for a number of years, which is basically where Sedo, for example, would provide the domain owner with an instant website where they could lease their online real estate to online advertisers and could get paid a percentage of the commission earned for each click. So they held on to them for a number of years and covered their overheads doing this, and then sold them on to end users in the last couple of years. Particularly, we've seen a large increase in premium domain name transactions in the last couple of months.
Now, this sounds worryingly like cyber squatting. Where does the sort of line between sort of legitimate sort of savvy investment cross the line to just sort of trying to make a quick buck?
Sure, absolutely. And there's a very big difference, really. I mean, cyber squatters are people who actively go out and search for domain names with the bad faith intent to benefit from somebody else's trademark or goodwill on those trademarks. And a domain name investor is very much like a real estate developer. They go in and they look for generic, descriptive domain names, anything you'd find in the dictionary that describes a product or a service or a geographical location. And then they market those online with a view to targeting end-user buyers who would be interested in buying them to build out their online portfolios. So an example of that would be a vodka.com sale, for example. Our client owned vodka.com and we helped him sell it to Russian Standard Vodka Company for $3 million just last year. So that's a good example of how an end-user buyer can come in and buy a descriptive domain name from a legitimate domain name investor.